You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Well, the best ideas are free, and to prove it and to wrap up a year in ideas, it is Ben Young, waggy.com, bwagy.com, and twitter.com/waggy. Good morning to you, Ben.
Good morning.
Nice to see you once again.
Yeah.
And thanks very much for the coffee this morning.
All good.
Very nice.
Brought the coffee supply with me.
It's very much needed, I think, at this time of the year, the festive. Been to a few parties?
Yeah. It's difficult. What I realised the other night was, if you're going to Christmas parties, you need to cut stuff out of the next day.
You do.
In
fact, you need to write
what
off
happens
work at this time of the year in general. Just write it off.
Yeah. You need to write it off. What normally happens is someone says, come to a Christmas party, you do that, then you work just a regular day the next day. Just like, I can't do that. It's too much.
It's unsustainable.
It's unsustainable. Either I go to the party, I'm not talking to anyone.
Yeah.
Or
one or the other, or both are compromised.
Yeah.
And who wants that?
No.
Ben, it's been a heck of a year. A lot of people would say that it's been a really tough year, and I think people are really looking forward to this break because they're and perhaps breathing a sigh of relief. Perhaps if they've still got a job, or they've moved on to a new job, or they're in a better position than they were, but a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, I think 2009 has been quite the year of challenges. Whether or not you did lose your job, or whether or not you made some money off the recession, I think it's been a tiring year for everyone. At the start of the year, typically you can kind of judge what's going to happen in certain fields by the end of the year. This year the game has been changing every 3 or 4 months. I've seen some people's businesses go soaring up, then soaring back down, then soaring back up. Other people just say, look, I can't take it, I'm making money but it's too stressful, it's too hard. And then we've seen a lot of creativity around creating jobs.
Yeah.
Or trying to get a job through the like LinkedIn or Twitter or blogging, where instead of putting your application in a file, and a friend of mine, they were hiring one person, it was quite well paid, but it was really hard work. I think they had 200 applications, whereas the same position, because they were filling a position that had wrapped up, that they'd done 2 years earlier, had like 14.
Yeah.
So like, if you're applying for a job, sending in your CV seemed to be the worst way to do it this year. It was better to try and connect with the company through an online medium, or give them a call, or it just seemed like CV was your last resort.
Yeah. One thing you'd say that no matter what you were doing this year, you probably weren't doing it the same way you were doing it 2 years ago.
I think everyone has questioned what they're doing, and how they're doing it. Especially, I've noticed with my clients in the internet marketing field, there's been a surge in interest, and that's because kind of the tide of budget has gone out, so they're looking at other viable options. And you definitely see that with people questioning, well, maybe we should be looking at using technology in this component, maybe we should look at outsourcing, maybe we should look at shifting part of our business online, changing our sales strategy or marketing. I think this year has been a bit of a tipping point for businesses. In the past, there's always been technology in business, and I'm talking about small to medium businesses in New Zealand. They've been almost distinctly separate, and there have been the early adopters that have jumped on the technology.
Yeah.
And I really think the shake-up this year is going to mean 2010 is going to be the year of what we do is becoming highly integrated with technology, whether that's in our personal life, our health, or within our business. I think people, because of the shake-up, they've gone, well, what we've done for the last decade maybe hasn't, what we should be doing now.
Right. So really right across the board, you think that that technology will be more pervasive in the way we work and the way we live?
Definitely. I think if you look at the sales of the iPhone, I think a few months ago it was at 60,000. It's been
size of Timaru.
Yeah. Within New Zealand, I think the largest handset number in use was 170,000. So the fact that the iPhone's at 60,000, and if we extrapolate that out for another year, I think the use of it's only going to increase within New Zealand. And once you have an iPhone, it kind of lends itself to bringing other technology into your life. It's almost like the wedge approach. Once you have this, chances are you're going to end up buying these other things.
This year, Ben, you also launched a blog on the Herald website as well.
Yes. For me personally, it's been a huge year.
Yeah.
My personal blog has continued to grow. I've started doing this with you.
Yeah.
I brought out my book halfway through the year, which was a huge effort. My blog's been on the Herald. And so in terms of how I put content out there and have conversations with the public, it has vastly changed, whereas in the past it was just kind of me.
Yeah.
But now it's been pushed out to all these other avenues that it's grown bigger than me.
Yeah. What about the year for freelancers? I mean, kind of like yourself.
Yeah.
Has it been a year where freelancers have had to almost provide their services for free, but in a public role? Like actually plug into many different ways of getting their information out there.
So the freelance industry has grown hugely this year, with people being laid off in specialties just because their firm, they can't justify the spend, and quite often these people are being hired back by their original company, but for, say, less hours, 10 or 20 hours.
Right.
So people that are freelancers had to be a lot more creative in how they source work, just like job seekers.
Yeah.
So you will see a lot of them offering a certain amount of advice for free, whether that's through maybe a YouTube video or a little pamphlet they send out, or a podcast or something like that.
Yeah.
And then if you want them to turn up, then they're going to charge more. And the beauty of it for them is that they can provide information that they probably have to tell everyone anyway. So the first 3 meetings are probably the same conversations going on no matter your client. So share that for free, customer gets some value, and then if they want to work with you, they then know how to. And it's quite a big win, because then you don't need to spend any time qualifying clients.
But what about particularly in this realm of social media and getting businesses to use technology as part of their operations? What about the rise of the fakers? You know, the people who are going out there and perhaps delivering some of this information, but it's not. So it's not. Yeah.
So like any new trend, it's generally driven by a few early adopters who have made a name for themselves, and they've done quite well out of it, and that's happened worldwide. And I've seen this trend happen online several times. And the current trend is, the social media expert, the social media guru, and what these people do is they're supposed to help you strategically with your social media online, how you manage your presence. Now, of course, there are always case studies are going to win, real life examples that people can see and touch and see how they've worked. But often, and this is what happens with every trend, there's a whole group of, as you put it, fakers who say that they can do this, but really they have no experience. And to be honest, I have seen a fair amount of this. If you've lost your job, looking at being a social media consultant does seem like an easy thing to do, and I have seen quite a number of people doing it. And to be honest, as I've said, these things come and go. They're here in the market now. The market will force them out.
Are they the new Encyclopedia Britannica salesman people that is going door to door?
Almost. Before social media, I'm talking within the online space, there were SEO experts, there were email marketing experts, there were AdWords experts. And it just comes back to the same old basics. If you're going to work with someone, get some referrals, check those referrals, look at their experience, look at what they're doing. Do they stand behind what they're doing? Do they actually do for themselves what they're doing for you? And if you can just look at those indicators, that's going to beat anything else.
Kind of like personal finance experts as well. Why would you get someone to deal with all your money that they haven't really succeeded in that area themselves? Why would you give them your portfolio?
Yeah,
we've certainly seen some disasters.
We've seen a bit of that in the last 5 years.
Yeah, been very, very tragic. Okay, so and what else? Anything else in particular you're looking forward to next year?
I'm really looking forward to next year. In the past, I've been running my own businesses for about 5 years now in the internet marketing field. And what I've noticed is generally year to year, Kiwis will knock off about mid-December. And from a personal front, I had to plan about 2 months of dead cash flow. That's where I had to do, a little bit of work, but mostly people didn't want anything done seriously till mid-February and coming into early March. This year, and I've talked to as many people as I can within my networks to see if it's the same for them, and it does tend to be the same. Kiwis are going, no, we're just taking our 2 weeks off. We want you to start first day back.
Okay.
And so that's a bit of a cultural shift.
Yeah.
And
that's what the Northern Hemisphere does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's just New Zealand going, look, we need to capitalise on some of these opportunities. Taking maybe up to 6 weeks off over this time of year isn't the best. On a personal note, I tend to spread my holidays out through the year. Because from managing a business perspective, it makes much more sense. Why would you want to shut down, say, all your fixed capital for 6 weeks that you have to pay for, and whether that's an office or cars or you've got to pay for your employees over that time. Why don't you just shut down for 2 weeks and then bring them back?
Makes sense to me. Well, do try and get some kind of break, though, Ben, won't you?
Definitely.
Well,
I'm getting a decent kind of break.
Good. Ben Young, the best ideas are free, and you can find his blog, bwaggy.com, bwaggy.com, and also hit him up on Twitter, twitter.com/bwaggy. We'll see you in the new